Canton. Murrow News 8 starts now.
Murrow News 8 starts right now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Caitlin Rappel.
And I'm Grace Arness. Welcome back to Murrow News 8.
Pullman city officials say there are a lot of unanswered questions when it comes to financial recovery in the wake of COVID-19. City Council member Brandon Chapman hosted an online town hall yesterday with several other local leaders to discuss recovery efforts after the state shutdown is lifted. One major concern is sales tax revenue, which will be lower because many businesses have had to shut their doors. Pullman Director of Finance and Administrative Services Mike Urban says the city won't know how much it lost because there is an 8-week delay for sales tax revenue reports. Chapman says many businesses have taken great steps to reduce the spread of disease, but one major question remains. What will the city's role be in telling businesses what to do when they start opening back up?
In a televised update on Tuesday, Governor Jay Inslee said that Washington state may not be able to lift many of the stay-at-home restrictions by May 4th. Inslee said that returning to public life will occur in a series of steps. Several factors must be first, and that includes adequate testing and a vaccine. Inslee did say that he hopes that health modeling in the coming days will allow some activities to resume. Here's a clip from today's conference.
The timeline, the most immediate timeline is that we hope tomorrow we will receive additional modeling from the Institute for Disease Modeling, and we hope that that's going to show some improvement that data for the last 3 days suggested, and if it does, we think we can make some statements fairly shortly after that as to when some of these things could happen. A different interpretation of what surgery we can start, the ability to restart residential construction under very good hygiene. And those are things that we hope to be able to say.
Even before Governor Inslee updated citizens about restrictions continuing after May 4th, some Spokane business owners have been fed up and have participated in a protest in front of Spokane City Hall today in regards to the governor's orders. This protest comes after a group of 20 people protested the stay-at-home order in Spokane on Sunday. According to the group's Facebook page, protesters stayed in their cars during the protest, honking their horns at 1 p.m. Participants were also able to stand outside as long as they kept a safe distance between each other.
Working on a coronavirus is the top priority for the United States. However, the director of the office making the virus was suddenly dismissed from his post after he says he resisted efforts to support more availability of a coronavirus treatment pushed by the Trump administration that he also says is ineffective.
Well, not everyone is spending quarantine at home. Some have decided to take this time and travel, like myself. So I decided to talk to a few people who did the same.
Due to the current COVID-19 pandemic, people have been ordered to quarantine. For some, that means escaping their hometown. I spoke with elementary school teacher Katie Carmody about why she chose to quarantine in Palm Desert, California, instead of her hometown, Issaquah, Washington.
My parents were here already, and my plan was always to come here for spring break, but since we won't be going back to school for the rest of the school year, I decided that I would kind of just stay for an extended period of time, which has been nice to be with my parents again. So that was kind of one of the main reasons. And then the weather's nice here, and I feel like there's just a lot more options rather than just like sitting around.
WSU student Paris Johnson drove to Arizona with her family to quarantine there instead of their hometown, Kirkland, Washington.
Me and my family decided to go to Arizona because it was a good way to get out of like rainy and cold Seattle weather, and we really wanted to just get in the sun and have something to do during the day. It's a lot easier to tan and hang out and do stuff here than it is in Seattle.
Despite suggestions, people are still traveling. But what makes spending quarantine somewhere else so much different?
I feel like I just have more opportunities to like go outside, but being here, it's more
different ways. Like here, I'm a lot more motivated to like go outside and walk and run because it's a lot like sunnier, but it is a little bit harder to focus on schoolwork because you do want to be in the sun and swimming all day. So that is a little bit challenging, but it is pretty easy to like balance everything.
Caitlin Rappel, Murrow News 8.
Now we have Ariel Yakabazi reporting in Pullman, Washington, with some information about what part WSU is playing during the COVID-19 pandemic. Ariel?
Thanks, Caitlin. That's right. The WSU Pullman campus is now producing their own hand sanitizer to help combat the spread of germs during the COVID-19 pandemic. According to WSU Insider, Washington State University is now brewing Cougar Clean, an FDA-approved hand sanitizer. More than 50 gallons of hand sanitizer have already been produced at the Pullman campus. And get this, according to Jason Sampson, the assistant director with environmental health and safety, said there is enough supply to make another 800 gallons. That's pretty cool. The production of Cougar Clean is meant to help WSU's essential employees to have ready access to hand sanitizer. Sampson also said, quote, "We've been concentrating on places where running water and soap aren't readily available," end quote. Officials are working on getting Cougar Clean to custodial and dining staff, as well as people who are making deliveries, receiving deliveries, etc. This is just a reminder that Cougs do in fact help Cougs. And remember to apply your own hand sanitizer, to wash your hands, and to practice social distancing. Now to Kirsten Rosser with some breaking news in the world of baseball.
Thanks, Ariel. Well, the Boston Red Sox were stripped of their second-round pick in this year's amateur MLB draft for sign stealing in 2018. According to USA Today, former manager Alex Cora was also suspended through the 2020 postseason for his previous conduct as bench coach with the Houston Astros. Bob Manfred, MLB commissioner, announced today that the Red Sox broke the rules by using in-game video to revise sign sequences. In 2018, the Red Sox won 108 games and eventually the World Series. But MLB's report indicated the rules breaking ceased after regular season. And the 2020 NFL Draft is set to take place virtually starting tomorrow until Saturday. There are 2 Washington State Cougars who were invited to the NFL Combine and will be hoping to hear their names called in the coming days. Quarterback Anthony Gordon and wide receiver Desmond Patman are of the 2 prospects coming from WSU. According to the News Tribune, Gordon completed over 69% of his passes in the 2019 season, which ranked him among the best rates in the country last season. He also looked strong at the Reese's Senior Bowl and Combine, where he showed off his quick release technique. Projections for Gordon range from 4th-round pick to undrafted free agent. And Patman showed off his speed at the NFL Combine, running a 4.48 40-yard dash, which ranked 19th out of 40. Season he finished with 58 receptions, 762 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Patman is projected to be an undrafted free agent. And lastly, representatives of 17 coaches associations have written to NCAA President Mark Emmert opposing a recent proposal from a group of college conference commissioners, asking that the association consider actually providing schools temporary relief amid the coronavirus pandemic from several Division I membership requirements. So currently, as of now, FBS schools must field at least 16 teams. That's a minimum of 6 men's teams and 8 women's teams. Now, Division I schools must field at least 14 teams. Reducing the number of these fielded teams would actually reduce the minimum number of sports sponsorship requirements, and that would then open the door to eliminate some certain sports. Many think this should not be an option during the pandemic, and the coaches are opposing it. Now, we'll go to Luke Hudson to find out how many rainy days we have ahead of us. Luke?
Thanks, Kirsten. Yeah, there's definitely some rain ahead, but let's take a look at how things are going in Pullman today. So today we saw a high of 57, and we'll see a low of 39 later tonight. But throughout the day, basically all we've seen is clouds. A few drops here and there, and there was only a projection for about 1/10 of an inch to fall, and that's going to be something we'll see tomorrow as well. So today we also sunrise 5:46 a.m., sunset 7:48 p.m. Getting earlier sunrise, late sunset as we transition, getting closer and closer to the end of the year, end of the school year, and closer to summer as well. Now let's take a look at tomorrow. So tomorrow, a high of 57, low of 39. And we'll see some more rain as well. I mean, it's only going to be about 1/10 of an inch, which for reference is about 2.5 fingernails in terms of their thickness stacked on top of each other. So really not that much. It's not going to affect travel or anything like that. But it is something to be aware of. When you have rainfall after a period of dryness like we've had for the past week or so, roads can be a little bit more slippery. And that's because the water will fall and then the oil that leaks from cars has dried on the roadway. And that water gets under it, which pushes the oil up, making it a little bit more slippery. Now let's take a look at how things are going for the state. Which is a lot of the same that we've been seeing in Pullman. Rain pretty much everywhere. And we'll start with the rainiest. Seattle and Olympia with highs of 54 and 55, with lows that won't even get below 40 tonight. They staying pretty normal in terms of the difference between high and low. Closer to Pullman in the middle of the state, we see Yakima and the Tri-Cities with a high of 61 and 62, with lows that won't get below 40 either. Enjoying some nice higher temperatures than we are, but still with rain predominantly across the state. Spokane getting much of the kind of the brunt of that with a high of 54 dipping down into a low of 42. They'll see a lot of rain today and tomorrow. Now let's take a look at our 5-day forecast for Pullman. Again, tomorrow we'll see a high of 56, low of 38 on Thursday with some more rain. Friday will be a little bit better. Not much of a chance of rain then, mostly partly cloudy with a nice high of 60. And then Saturday and Sunday, for the rest of the week, we'll see, for the weekend, we'll see nice highs in the lower 60s. Saturday is going to be a little bit rainy with about a 30% chance of precipitation in the morning before 11 a.m. And then Sunday will get a little bit nicer with a high of 61, low of 44, and a little bit more sun before we start the week off with a little bit more rain. And that's pretty much what we have for the 5-day forecast. Who are we going back to? I apologize. Caitlin, back to you.
Thank you, Luke. Well, the U.S. Department of Education is honoring the Pullman School District for its sustainability efforts. Pullman schools received a 2020 Green Ribbon Sustainability Award from the federal agency. The award recognizes the school's efforts to reduce environmental impact and utility costs, improve health and wellness, and ensure effective sustainability education. Only 11 school districts in the country received this award. Well, that is all from us here at Murrow News 8.
You can watch us live on YouTube every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m.
News content can still be found at nwpb.org/news.